The Mickey Mouse Club is such an interesting piece of media that some segments of the 90s era are still kind of lost. I saw it in a Blame It on Jorge video, and well, that piqued my interest. Not to be confused with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, the Mickey Mouse Club is an American variety television show that aired intermittently from the 50s all the way to the 90s, but then briefly returned to social media in 2017. More on that later. It was created by Walt Disney and produced by Walt Disney Productions, and the program was first televised for 4 seasons, from 55 to 59 by ABC. This original run featured a regular but ever-changing cast of mostly teen performers. The ABC broadcast reruns weekday afternoons during the 58 and 59 season, airing right after American Bandstand, a topic that'll get a video another time. And like I sort of mentioned before, the show was revived 3 times after its initial run in the 50s on ABC. First from 77 to 78 for the first run syndication as the New Mickey Mouse Club, and then in 89 to 96 as the all-new Mickey Mouse Club. That's the one with the most lost media. It was also known to fans as the MMC from 1993 to 1996, airing on the Disney Channel. Then it came back in 2017 and 2018 with the moniker Club Mickey Mouse, airing on internet social media. So let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about the whole thing, alright? Before the show became a show, and then the OG show, then we'll move on to the 70s, and then the 80s and slash 90s, and make our way to the 2018 reboot and the international revivals, because those do exist. Before we got the TV series, the first official theater-based Mickey Mouse Club began on December 21st, 1929. God damn! Anyways, at the Ice North Theater in Salem, Oregon. Double goddamn, and I'm sorry. With 60 theaters hosting clubs by March 31st. The club released its first issue of the official bulletin of the Mickey Mouse Club on April 15th, 1930. By 1932, the club had 1 million members, and in 1933, the first UK club opened at Darlington's Arcade Cinema. In 1935, Disney began to phase out the club, which is when we'll get into the 1955 to 1959 show era. So a little fun fact you may or may not know about Mickey Mouse, for this specifically, but he appeared in every show, not only in vintage cartoons originally made for theatrical release, but also in the opening, interstellar, and closing segments made especially for the show. Mickey was voiced by, I'm going really fast, sorry. In both the vintage cartoons and the new animated segments, Mickey was voiced by his creator, Walt Disney, who had previously voiced the character theatrically from 1928 to 1947 before being replaced by sound effects artist Jimmy McDonald. The Mickey Mouse Club from 1955 to 1959 was hosted by Jimmy Dodd, a songwriter and the head Mouseketeer, who provided leadership both on and off the screen. In addition to his other contributions, he often provided short segments encouraging young viewers to make the right moral choices. These little homilies became known as Doddisms. A homily is a commentary that follows a reading of scripture, given the public explanation of a sacred doctrine or text. I had to mention that. Anyways, Roy Williams, a staff artist at Disney, also appeared in the show as a big Mouseketeer. Williams suggested that Minnie and Mickey Mouse ears should be worn by the show's cast members, inspired by a visual gag in The Carnival Kid. He helped create these ears, along with Chuck Heen, Hal Alquist, and Bill Walsh. The main cast members were called Mouseketeers, and they performed a variety of music and dance numbers, as well as some informational segments. Most popular of the Mouseketeers constituted the so-called Red Team, who appeared each day in the show's opening roll call and the closing segments. 9 of those Red Team Mouseketeers were kept on their contract for the entire run of the show. The remaining Mouseketeers, who were members of the White or Blue teams, were Don Agrati, who was later known as Don Grady when he starred as Robbie on My 3 Sons, which, looks interesting. I might talk about it in a separate video. Sherry Alberoni, Billie Jean Bean Blossom, that's an actual name, and it's the best name I've ever heard in my life. Eileen Diamond, Dickie Dodd, not related to Jimmy Dodd. Mary Espinoza, Bonnie Lynn Fields, Judy Harriet, Linda Hughes, Dallas Johann, John Lee Johann. I don't think he's related to Dallas Johann, but I don't really know. Bonnie Lou Kern, Charlie Laney, Larry Larson, Paul Peterson, Lynn Reddy, Mickey Rooney Jr., Tim Rooney. Wait, Mickey Rooney Jr.? Wow, impressive. Tim Rooney, Mary Satoroni, Bronson Scott, Marjorie Story, Ronnie Steiner, and Mark Sutherland. Larry Larson, only for the 1956 to 57 season, was the oldest Musketeer, being born in 1939, and Bronson Scott, only on the 1955 to 1956 season, was the youngest Musketeer, being born in July of 1947. Among those who auditioned, the thousands who auditioned but didn't make the cut, were future Oscar-winning vocalist/songwriter Paul Williams and future Primetime Emmy Award-winning actress Candice Bergen. Yeah, from Being a Murphy. I don't actually watch her, but she was in Boston Legal and Murphy Brown, so yeah. So a cute little fun fact, they had like these shows that I think would air during the Clubhouse show. Like it was like a short, and one of the shorts they had were the Hardy Boys. Yeah, the Hardy Boys. I believe I might have mentioned that. I don't know when, but I might have mentioned that in my Hardy Boys video. I'm not too sure. So the series ran on ABC television for an hour of each weekday in the 1955 and 56 seasons, from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, only a half-hour weekdays in 1957, and the final season to feature new programming. Although the show did return for the 58th season, these programs were repeats from the first two seasons, recut to a half-hour format. The Mickey Mouse Club was featured on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Walt Disney's Adventure Time, featuring reruns of the Mickey Mouse Club serials and several re-edited segments from Disneyland and Walt Disney Presents, appeared on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Give me a sec, I'm really hungry. This is banana bread Pop-Tarts, and they're the best Pop-Tarts. I don't care what anyone says. Banana bread tastes so good. Although the show remains popular, ABC decided to cancel it after its fourth season ended, because Disney and the ABC network could not come to terms with its renewal. The cancellation of the show in September 1959 was attributed to several factors. 1. The Disney studios did not explain high profit margins for merchandising sales. Sponsors were uninterested in educational programming for children, and many commercials were needed to play for the show. After canceling the show, ABC also refused to let Disney air the show on another network. So, they bit back. Well, by bit back, I mean Walt did. Walt filed a lawsuit against ABC and won the damages in a settlement the following year. But he had to agree that both the Mickey Mouse Club and Zorro cannot be aired on any major network. I was wondering about Zorro, but apparently the first ever Zorro was a TV show produced by Walt Disney Productions. So it's not to be confused with the one that, like the movies. This is the show from the 50s. So because he couldn't do that, this left Walt Disney Presents, initially titled Disneyland, but later retitled to Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color when it moved to NBC. They always find a way to get me somehow, don't they? As the only Disney series that was left on primetime until 1972, when The Mouse Factory went on air. Another thing we will have to get into. Today's not that day. The prohibition, which prevented major U.S. broadcast networks from airing the OG show, or any later version of it, was disputed when Disney acquired ABC in 1996. Oh, this makes more sense now. They got revenge. And although it would not air on ABC again, Disney ran it on the Disney Channel's Walt Disney block from 1998 to 2002. Now, this is a weird thing to mention, but we're talking about Australia, and Australia didn't get aired until like 2015. So you can imagine how they felt when they finally got to see the Walt Disney Mickey Mouse Club or whatever. It was very successful, because many cast members of the show assembled for highly successful tours all in Australia in 1959 and 1960. The TV series was very successful in Australia, and was still running on Australian television. The cast surprised Australian audiences, as by then they had physically matured and in some cases bore little resemblance to the cast of youths with whom Australia were so familiar with. Mainstream TV did not reach Australia until 1956, so the series screened well into the 1960s when the back catalog expired. In response to the continuing audience demand, the original Mickey Mouse Club went into edited syndication half-hour reruns that enjoyed wide distribution starting in the fall of 1962, achieving strong ratings, especially during its first 3 seasons in syndicated release. Because of its popularity in some markets, a few stations continued to carry it into 1968 before the series was finally withdrawn from syndication. Some new features were added, such as Fun with Science or Professor Wonderful with scientist Julius Sumner Miller, and Marvelous Marvin in the 1964 and 1965 season, before the Monkees. And also during I Dream of Jeannie, but Jeannie came out in 1965. Jimmy Dodd appeared in several of these new segments before his death in 1964 of November. Several markets expanded the program block to an hour's daily runtime during the 1960s repeat cycle by adding locally produced and hosted portions involving educational subjects and live-action participation of local students or local children, in a manner not unlike Romper Room. In response to an upsurge in demand from baby boomers attending adulthood, I don't know if I said attending, they're entering adulthood, the show again went into syndicated reruns from January 20th, 1975 to January 14th of 1977. We're getting really close to the new Mickey Mouse Club. It had since been rerun on cable, especially channels, Disney in the United States and Family in Canada. The original Mickey Mouse Club films aired 5 days a week on the Disney Channel from its launch in 1983 until a third version of the series began in 1989. That's the all-new Mickey Mouse Club. We will get into that later, too. The last airing of the edited 1950s material was on the Disney Channel's Walt Disney from 1997 till... I already mentioned this, so... yeah, I think... Can we move on yet to the other one, or are we... yep, we can move on now. Let's finally get into the 1977 to 1979 arrival, the new Mickey Mouse Club. You would think the Monkees would be somewhat I wish they were involved with this, but considering that the Monkees weren't in anything Disney related until the 80s with Mullet Davy, I'm half not surprised and half surprised, considering that according to an episode of the Monkees, I don't think this is true, but they wouldn't allow long-haired people into Disney, so Mickey's never been to Disney. Obviously, he has been to Disney because of the 80s roll clip or whatever.
Hello, we're the Monkees, and we're here to perform at the big Walt Disney World birthday party.
I don't believe it. This man does not know who we are.
We're the Monkees, you're blue. Here we come.
There's fire now. Look out of the way. We're the firemen. We've come to save the day.
You better let us into the party. This hose is full of water, and it's about to explode.
Look out, it's exploding.
Out of the way.
Exploding. Wait, it's not exploding. What's the matter? It's not exploding. It's not exploding. I'll bet you thought we were going to get blasted.
Editing Amy here, in case you're wondering where this is from, like how did the Monkees get to Disney. This is for the Golden Girls Disney TV special where the Golden Girls went to Disneyland. So that explains that. Does that mean I'll make a video where I say, oh, the Golden Girls with the Monkees? Maybe. Anyways, in 1977, Walt Disney Productions revived the concept, but modernized the show cosmetically, with a disco re-recording of the theme song and a more ethnically diverse group of young cast members. We were a simple race back then. Oh my god! Yes, that's why I deleted my video of the Lilo and Stitch live-action trailer. If you saw it, no you didn't. Anyways, the sets were brightly colored and simpler than the detailed black and white artwork of the original. Like the original, nearly every day's episode included a vintage cartoon, though usually in color from the late 1930s and onwards. The 1977 Musketeers were part of the halftime show of Super Bowl XI, which I don't know Roman numerals that well, but it's the Super Bowl from 1977, the January 9th one. serials on the show were usually old Disney movies, cut into segments for twice weekly inclusion. Movies included Third Man on the Mountain, two of Tommy Kirk's movies, The Misadventures of Merlin Jones and The Monkey's Uncle, Emil and the Detectives, which was retitled to The Three Strings, Tonka, which was retitled to a horse named Kamachi, The Horse Without a Head, about a toy horse, and Toby Tyler, starring Kevin Corcoran. In addition, one original serial was produced, The Mystery of Rustler's Cave, starring Kim Richards and Robbie Rist. Often shown were scenes from animated Disney films like Snow White to the Jungle Book, billed as Mouse-Skin Movie Special. The series debuted on January 17th of 1977 on 38 local television stations in the United States, and by June of that same year, when the series was discontinued, about 70 stations in total had picked up the series. Wow, this really didn't last that long? 2 years basically, or whatever. 3 years, 2 years, it don't matter. Additional stations picked up the canceled program, which continued to run until January 12th of 1979. 130 new episodes, with much of the original material repackaged and a bit of new footage added, and a shortened version of the theme song, was produced to start airing September 5th, 1977. Since the 70s, the series has aired only briefly and sporadically in reruns, and only on the Disney Channel's Walt Disney Nighttime block, which was the 1977-2002 block that I mentioned before. And unlike its predecessor from before, the 50s one, and then the series that followed after it, the 80s and 90s one, which had DVD releases and of select episodes in July 2005, this version of the show does not have a DVD release, and has been largely forgotten by many, including many kids of the 70s who made it their club. In November of 1977, The Mouseketeers of Walt Disney World was shown on The Wonderful World of Disney. WGN-TV in Chicago, Illinois also aired this version on a delayed basis in 1977 and 78 during the Cubs baseball season due to game coverages. Action for Children's Television, not program, successfully got the show canceled, though, because of their objections to the type of commercials that aired during the program. That's really, really dumb.
Dumb, idiot.
I'm gonna mention the cast again, not the whole entire thing, just some important things you might realize, oh hey, we've talked about this and that before. So the cast of 12, 5 boys and 7 girls, had more diverse multi-ethnic background than in the 50s version, because, well, anyways, several 1977 to 1978 cast members went on to become TV stars and other notable icons. A most famous one being Lisa Wetchell, who you know for being in The Facts of Life because we talk about The Facts of Life on my channel. Oh wait, she was also winner of Survivor in 2012. Actually? That's wild. Oh, and another Mouseketeer that also appeared in Facts of Life that I don't think I mentioned in my video was Julie Piekarski, who appeared in the first season of The Facts of Life. We also have Kelly Parsons, who went on to become a beauty queen and runner-up of Miss USA. So, another Mouseketeer in the show was Mindy Feldman, who you may know because she's the sister of Corey Feldman. You know how it is, man. Oh, another famous, I have to mention this. Another Mouseketeer, that was famous or whatever. William Billy Pop Atmore appeared in a final season episode of Brady Bunch, which was Kelly's Kids, which I actually mentioned in my spin-off video. And not only that, another person, Shantae Northcutt, appeared in an episode of The Facts of Life as Madge. So we got 3 Facts of Life people, but we also have Curtis Wong, who appeared in an episode of Different Strokes as an assistant karate instructor under Soon Tech O. I do not believe that lying sack of shit. This incarnation was not distributed by Disney only. While Disney did produce the series, it was co-produced and distributed by SFM Entertainment, which also handled 1970s air syndication of the original 50s series. Disney since reacquired only distribution rights. Okay, you've all been waiting for this one. I've been at the edge of my seat, waiting, excited to talk about the coolest Mickey Mouse Club revival, because this one is the best one, including so many famous people? That is literally insane. Brace yourself as we are finally talking about the all-new Mickey Mouse Club. Reruns of the original The Mickey Mouse Club began airing on the Disney Channel with its 1983 launch. While the show was popular with younger audiences, the executives of the Disney Channel felt that it had become dated over the years, particularly because it was aired in black and white. Their answer was to create a brand new rebooted version of the club, one targeted at contemporary audiences. Notably, the all-new club members wore Mouseketeer varsity jackets instead of the iconic Mickey Mouse ears. This show was called the All-New Mickey Mouse Club, also known as the MMC to fans. This version of the series is notable. It's so notable. This is the show that features so many famous people who went on to achieve like global success in music and acting. That includes Ryan Gosling, future NSYNC members Justin Timberlake and JC Chasez, who I think I pronounced that wrong, but I don't care. I'm so excited. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Carrie Russell, Dee Dee Mango from Steven Universe, future En Vogue member Rhonda Bennett, and Hallmark movie star Nikki DeLoach. Throughout the show's run, Fred Newman was the main adult co-host from the beginning of the series until season 6. In the first season, he was joined by other co-host Mawalva Pryor. She was then replaced by Terry F. from the 4th until the 6th season. And by the show's final season, 2 original members, Chase Hampton and Tiffany Hale, became the co-hosts. This was also the first version of the club to have any studio audience, though only a moderate-sized group. Former Mouseketeer Don Grady guest starred in the season 1 finale. Grady, along with other fellow Mouseketeers Annette Funicello, Bobby Burgess, Tommy Cole, Sharon Baird, and Sherry Alberoni, were reunited on the 100th episode during the show's 3rd season. Funicello later appeared on the show again in an interview with Mouseketeer Lindsay Alley. For the first 5 seasons, the series aired Monday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. The show's 6th season aired Monday to Thursday, and its final season aired Thursdays only at 7 o'clock p.m., later moved to half hour later, to 7:30 p.m. The series premiered Monday, April 24th, 1986, ending production on October of 1984, and aired its last original episode in 1996. Seasons 3 and 5 had the most episodes at 55 each, with seasons 1, 2, and 7 running about 45 episodes, and seasons 4 and 6 had about 36 episodes each. The show was known for its sketch comedy. Some of the sketches played off famous movies, musicals, and even cartoons, as well as holiday-related skits. During its final season, some of the skits showed everyday occurrences in the life of adolescents. The series featured music videos of the Mouseketeers singing their versions of popular songs in front of a live studio audience or at locations within Walt Disney World. This became one of the most popular segments. Due to the age of both the performers and the target demographic, lyrics with objectionable content were generally edited out of the songs and replaced with more appropriate language. Kind of like Kidz Bop, but before Kidz Bop. A unique feature of the show is that the Mouseketeers performing concerts on different days, which were usually taped the day before or in the summer, when the kids had more time. During the final season of the show, the concerts were replaced primarily by live performances that featured singing and dancing in front of the audience. The last 3 seasons of MMC had a pre-recorded drama series called Emerald Cove, with the older cast members, Rhonda Bennett, JC Chasez, Dale Godoble, Ricky Luna, Tony Luca, Alana Miller, Carrie Russell, Mark Warden, Matt Morris, Jennifer McGill, Joshua Ackerman, and Nikki DeLoach. Note that I don't know much about Emerald Cove, and I can't really find much information about it, so yeah. So, the last one that we're talking about America-wise, we're going to get to the international one soon, but the 2017-2018 one, Club Mickey Mouse, is certainly an interesting one. So, the Mickey Mouse Club was rebooted under the name Club Mickey Mouse with the new set of Mouseketeers in September of 2017, and for the first time, the series was made available on Facebook and Instagram, rather than its original half-hour to full-hour format on TV. And it's more like a reality show than a variety show, with about 90% of its content being behind the scenes. This incarnation of the club, or the show, featured 8 Mouseketeers who ranged in ages from 15 to 18. I don't know any of these people, except for one of them is now a YouTuber. I think. Well, he's known for his music videos on YouTube. His name's Kai Baldwin, and he's also a parkour athlete. So, the series was produced by the Disney Digital Network, and no new episodes or music videos have been produced since 2018. It was also, I'll just show you. I know that name's a little bit controversial nowadays, so that's why I don't dare to speak it of its name. Ooh. Now we're at the part where it's the end of the video, aka we're talking about the international revivals of the show. The first one we're talking about is the Korean revival from 2015, so technically before the American version, the Mickey Mouse Club. A new version of the series debuted on July 23rd, 2015 on Disney Channel Korea. The format of the revival included musical performances, games, skits, same as the original one in the US, kind of like the 90s one, basically. The series had 2 pilot episodes and 10 regular episodes, and the Mouseketeers consisted of 9 members of SM Entertainment's pre-debut trainees, Team SM Rookies, consisting of 5 boys and 4 girls, and the series was hosted by Lee Took of the boy band Super Junior. The show ended on December 17th of the same year, so a really short-lived revival. But the next one, though, the Malaysian revival of Mickey Mouse was the Club Mickey Mouse. It's like the Malaysian version of the one that we got, because it also came out in 2017. But this one ended in 2021, so impressive. So this one was created in Malaysia, and the format included musical performances, games, and comedy sketches. The series was hosted by YouTube personality Charis Ao and premiered on Disney Channel Asia on September 15th, 2017. This series was renewed for a second season, which premiered on July 6th, 2018, and then a third season, which premiered on June 14th, 2019. All members appeared as guest stars, except for Dina Menon, who was taking an exam, on episode 14, Episodes Need Indeed. On Disney Channel Asia original series, Wizard of Warna Walk. Is that like the Asian version of Wizards of Waverly Place? I'm just asking. Both Charis and Dina did not return in the season because Charis was getting married, so Disney Channel Asia decided to pick up 2 new Mouseketeers for an audition. Revealed to be Eric and Melina, but due to the shutdown of the channels, Season 4 of Club Mickey Mouse was aired in 2021, exclusively on Disney Plus Hotstar, instead, and SKTV Kids in 2023. In November of 2021, the 4th season of the show was to be aired on Disney Plus in selected territories, but the series was removed on May 26, 2023, amid the Disney Plus and Hulu purge. Rest in peace. That's the whole video. Woo! Alright, we did it. I apologize if this video didn't come out yesterday like I thought it would. I got busy. Minecraft again, but also family stuff. Not anything serious, just supporting my sister with stuff. But anyways, I'm so hyped for the next video. Get hyped for the next video because we're talking about the Aquabats. The Aquabats Super Show, but we're also talking about the Aquabats. So I cannot wait. Oh my god. I grew up with this show. You guys don't even understand. You don't get it. And also, I'm still working on the I Dream of Genie video. What did I get through so far? So you guys know I'm editing. Alright, I'm now up to the background of the show. Why it's taking me this long, it's because of my procrastination. But in case you're wondering if I'm watching the show or not, yes I am, and yes I think that Tony's hot. But then again, Tony is a Texan, just like Mike Nesmith, and I think those Texans, they were feeding them something back then.
Dale,
Jennifer, Justin, Carrie,
JC,
Brittany,
Josh,
Rona, TJ, Ilana,
Ricky,
Christina,
Mark,
Nita, Ryan,
Matt,
Nikki,
Tony,
Lindsay, Tate, Terry,
Fred, and you.